The glass shattered before anyone could breathe. A drink tray slipped from the black waitress's hands, crashing at the feet of the Korean Mafia boss seated in the private lounge. The room froze. Music died mid-note. Conversations vanished. Before she could kneel to clean it, his hand moved fast and sharp. The slap echoed louder than the glass. Her head snapped to the side. A sting burned across her cheek. Someone gasped. Someone else looked away. "What kind of useless trash are you?" the man barked, standing up, fury flashing in his eyes. "Do you know who you just embarrassed?" She straightened slowly. Her fingers trembled, not from fear, but from something else rising in her chest. As he leaned closer to insult her again, his collar shifted. For half a second, skin showed. And there it was. A small tattoo near his neck. Simple, dark, familiar. Her breath caught. The boss sneered, mistaking her silence for submission. "Clean it up," he said, dropping cash on the table like an insult. "And learn your place." She bowed lightly, as expected, but her eyes never left that tattoo. Because in that moment, the room, the slap, the humiliation all faded. The past rushed back like a wound ripped open. Years ago, her father used to sit at the kitchen table late at night, papers spread everywhere, voice low and urgent. "If anything happens to me," he once told her, "remember the mark. It's how they recognize each other." She never saw him again after that. The waitress cleaned the mess quietly while the boss laughed with his men, already done with her. He didn't notice the way her calm returned too quickly. He didn't notice the way she memorized the curve of the ink, the exact placement. He thought she was nothing. That night she walked home in the cold, her cheek still burning. When she locked the door, she didn't cry. She pulled out an old box hidden beneath her bed. Inside were yellowed notes, photos, and a cracked phone wrapped in cloth. Her father's final work. She turned it on. Miraculously, it still worked. She whispered to the empty room, "I found him." Days passed. The boss returned to the lounge like nothing had happened. Each time she served him with steady hands. Each time she saw the tattoo. Each time her resolve hardened. One evening, as she poured his drink, he scoffed. "You're quiet, you learned fast." "Yes," she replied softly. "Good," he said. "Silence suits you." She met his eyes for the briefest moment. Not forever. He frowned, then laughed, dismissing it as nothing. That same night, an anonymous email landed in a journalist's inbox. Attached were photos of a tattoo, notes matching old unsolved cases, and a message. "This mark connects them all." Then another email went to a rival gang, and another to an investigator who never stopped believing those cold cases meant something. Whispers began. The boss noticed first in the way rooms went quiet when he entered, then in calls that stopped being returned. He barked orders, but his men exchanged looks. One night, he grabbed his lieutenant by the collar. "Who's talking?" "No one," the man swore, "but people are asking questions." At home, the boss stood before a mirror, staring at the tattoo. He scrubbed it raw as if he could erase it with force. "It's nothing," he muttered. "It's just ink." But ink doesn't reopen cases. Ink doesn't make allies disappear. Back at the lounge, the waitress overheard everything. Fear crept into his voice now. Rage no longer felt controlled. When he returned again, she served him without shaking. "You," he snapped suddenly. "What's your name?" She paused. "You never asked before." He studied her face, recognition flickering too late. "Have we met?" She placed the glass down gently. "Not me," she said, "but my father did." The color drained from his face. He stood so fast his chair fell backward. "What did you say?" She leaned in just enough for him to hear. "He wrote about your tattoo before he vanished." For the first time, fear owned him completely. "You should be careful," he hissed. "People disappear for less." She smiled, not cruelly, but with relief. "They already did," she replied. He left without touching his drink. The collapse came fast after that. Raids, arrests, headlines flashing the same symbol across screens. The boss tried to run, but there was nowhere left. The mark followed him everywhere. On the final night, the waitress watched the news from her small apartment. The syndicate exposed. Names revealed. The tattoo finally understood. She whispered, "It's over." The next morning, she didn't return to the lounge. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more powerful stories, and comment what you would have done in her place.